2 Kings 2, verses 9 and 10. And it reads, "And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou shalt see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so." And if I could use for a subject message on today, I would like to use, this doesn't always equal that. That is our subject message on today. This doesn't always equal that. And as we start our text, Elijah's ministry is coming to an end. And Elisha, his protege's ministry, is beginning. Elijah is believed to be testing Elijah. On 3 different occasions mentioned, he tells Elijah to stay put as he goes and he does what God has instructed for him to do. How many of us know that we got to do what God says do until the end? Come on here. We got to do what God says do until the end. Elijah is very well aware that his life is coming to an end. And he is going to go up in a dramatic way, a way that we've never even seen and or imagined. All we can do is read about it and try to come up with some idea of what it's like. But nevertheless, Elijah was willing to do it until the end. Do I have anybody that says I'm willing to do it until the end? I don't care what's going on. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. I'm willing to do it until the end. Amen. And Elijah is constantly telling Elisha, he said, no, stay. Don't go. But Elisha is persistent that he will not leave. And he is continued to follow. He is going to continue to follow him until the end. Is there anybody that says, I'm going to follow God until the end? I'm going to follow God until the end. And I want you to understand, and I want to give you a little bit of background and try to create this picture for you, because oftentimes we think it's easy to stay to the end. But how many of you know sometimes in that journey you feel like giving up, because you hear the noise, you hear the chatter, you hear what they are saying, you hear the news reports, you hear what's going on. And sometimes if you're not careful, it will weigh on you. And that's why you got to minimize and you got to be very manageable of what you hear, because watch this, sometimes if you don't control what you hear, watch this, what you hear will control what you believe. Did anybody just catch that? This is why you got to control what you hear, because what you hear will control what you believe. It will actually make you, watch this, not believe what you know. Or it will make you doubt what you even know. But watch how, if you go in our text and you go back up to our, and read further up in some scriptures above, Elisha, he heard what they were saying. They even came to him. And you know, does anybody know what it's like when they keep telling you and you keep decreeing that God is going to do this and God is going to do that, and they keep telling you to look at the news, they keep telling you to look at who's in office, they keep telling you who's not agreeing in Congress and what they cut off and what they will possibly cut off. They keep trying to tell you to look at that, and you get to a point where you just have to do just like Elijah did. Elijah said, you can be quiet. I'm giving you the nice version of what Elijah said. He said, be quiet. He said, silence yourself. And you know, if we had our own way of saying it, y'all can just type it over in the chat section at what we would say, because most of us wouldn't even say it that nicely. Come on here. We would be so irritated and so agitated by what they were saying, we wouldn't even say it so nicely. We wouldn't tell them to be quiet. We wouldn't tell them to silence themselves. We wouldn't tell them to hold their tongue. We would just flat out come out and tell them to, there you go. There you go. I don't want to hear that. Come on here. And sometimes it's not that I don't want to hear what you're having to say. It's the fact that what you are saying is trying to contend with what I believe. Come on here. It's not that I don't love you, but when you keep talking a talk that's contending with what I believe and what I'm holding on to, sometimes by the hem of his garment, I'm holding on to it. It's not that I don't love you. It's not that I'm acting funny. It's the fact that what you are saying is actually contending with what I'm believing God for. Mm. And Elijah is not ignorant to what they are saying. And watch this. And sometimes you just got to get to the point where you just cut it off. Come on here. Please don't misunderstand my cutting you off. It's not that I don't love you. I'm just in a position right now myself that I cannot be. I can't afford to have what I believe contending with something that's trying to dominate it. So Elijah, he tells them, he hears what they're saying, but nevertheless, he said, I'm still going to stay. Come on. Is there anybody that's got their mind made up? I heard what they said. I know what they're saying. I know what they're believing. I know what they're trying to get me to believe, but I'm determined. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. My staying is not about my status. My staying is not about stuff. The reason that I'm staying is because it's something bigger. Come on here. I believe we got a body of Christ in here today, and we got some people in here that says, I've been staying for something bigger. Come on here. If that's you, just put bigger over in the chat section. I've been staying for something bigger through all the tears, through all the frustration, the heartache, the pain and disappointment, the times that I could have left and I didn't leave. I stayed for something bigger. I stayed for something bigger. Bigger, bigger, bigger. I stayed for something bigger. And after seeing Elisha's commitment, and as they keep moving on into the things that God has called them to move into, and Elijah, the mentor, is actually on his last journey. And as they are on the last journey, and after he has tried to convince Elijah to leave and to stay back, how many of you know that when you are fully committed to something, your stuff becomes secondary? Come on here. It's not even about you. Because watch this. Elisha, the protege, could have easily said, okay, your life is about to be over. I'm going to go and start my ministry now. Come on here. He said, but no, this ain't even about me. This is about something bigger than me. He said, so I'm going to stay with you to the end. Oof. And Elijah sees this dedication. And so Elijah, in verse 9, he tells Elisha, he says, is there anything that I can do for you before I go? Now, I just want us to grasp that for a minute. Can you just imagine God asking you, is there anything that I can do for you? Now, let's just be honest now. Most of us would take that moment to disclose our secret thoughts about hitting it big, because that would be the very thing that we would ask for. God, will you give me this thing? However you imagine hitting it big, that would be your time that you would use it if God gave you a blank check, because that's what Elijah did to Elisha. He gave him a blank check and he told him, he said, whatever you want to ask for, he said, ask for it. Come on here. Can we just imagine that at this point? Most of us just can't even imagine being given a blank check and then being told that we can put anything in the blank check that we wanted. But watch this. It pays to know the value. I want y'all to catch what Pastor Fran is saying. It pays to know the value of what you are asking for. Woo, come on here. See, that's where a lot of us get messed up at right there, because we don't even know the value of what we are asking for. Because oftentimes when we are asking for something, we just think about getting it, and we do not count up the cost of the responsibility that comes along with what we're asking for. Ooh, Pastor Fran just threw you something. So I'm going to say that again. It pays to know the value of what you are asking for, because a lot of us would ask to hit it big, in whatever way we want to hit it big. We were asking for that. Watch this. But most of us are not ready to pay the taxes that come along with it. Come on. Did somebody just catch that, what Pastor Fran is saying? Then we're going to find ourselves complaining about all the taxes that we have to pay on it. And then we're not ready to deal with all of the people that's going to come up out the woodworks. Come on. Because, you know, all of our cousins that we ain't seen in a long time, and all the people that ain't never said nothing to you in about 15 years, all of a sudden, they going to remember when they gave you a hot dog when you was a little boy. They going to remember when, watch this, they braided your hair when you was a little girl. They going to remember everything that they could possibly remember. Watch this, because now you have something that they want. So it pays to know the value of what you are asking for, because oftentimes we get infatuated with having it, but watch this, we're not as infatuated with the responsibility that comes along with it. And Elijah did not ask for houses. He did not ask for cars. He did not ask for status. Elijah asked for something. And watch this. If we do not know, this is what Pastor Fran is saying to you. You got to know the value of what you are asking. Because when you know the value of what you are asking, you will ask for something different than your neighbor. Come on here. Woo. When you know the value of what you are asking. See, sometimes we'll ask for the money, but we forget to ask for the source. Oh God, did somebody just catch that? Because oftentimes we'll ask for the money, but we'll forget to ask for the source. And then when the money runs out, we find ourselves going back asking for the source. Did somebody just catch what Pastor Fran is saying? This is why the word of God encourages us to seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And y'all know the rest of that. And we're looking at Elijah in verse 9. And he has this blank check. Y'all follow me. He has this blank check. And most of us, if we just be honest, we would have, again, as we look over in the chat section, said we would break out our list. But watch this. Elijah knew the value of what he was about to ask for. Come on here. Because in verse 9, pull that up for us, Antonio, so we can see it. In verse 9, let me go back to verse 9 for you. And I'm going to read it in your hearing. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee, before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. Oh my God. Are y'all following what he's asking for now? Thank you, Antonio. Watch this. He's not asking for the house. He's not asking for the car. He's not asking for the status. Elijah said, I want a double portion. Oh God. Remember what Pastor Fran just said. You have to know, in order to see the value of what Elijah is asking for, you have to know what he's asking for and the significance of what he is asking for. Because most of us would just think that Elijah was asking for more power. Come on here. He said, I want a double portion of your spirit. Come on. Are y'all seeing that? How many of us would just actually think that he was asking for more power? Let's just be honest. But Pastor Fran is going to teach us on today what he's really asking for. Most of us would just be thinking that he wants more power because he wanted to be a greater prophet, or he wanted to part more seas, or, you know, he just wanted to do greater works than his mentor. Watch this. But how many of us know that Elijah's request was not about power? Oh God. This is why I said you got to know the value of what you are asking for, because oftentimes we are asking God for things, but we don't even know the value of what we're asking for. Because basically when we want it, and you know, sometimes we ask for it because we're trying to get out of a situation, or we're trying to make life situations and circumstances better for us. And we're trying to alleviate certain financial burdens, and we're trying to alleviate certain stresses that we do have. But watch this. Here it goes. Elijah is asking for a double portion of Elijah's spirit, but it's not about the power that he is at, why he is asking for it. I want to ask you the question, the thing that you are asking God for, do you really know the value of why you're asking? Whew. Do you really know the value of why you're asking? Because watch this again, his request for a double portion had nothing to do with having more power. Because if you look at it, it was customary. And when you do your research on it, it was customary that, watch this, the firstborn son always got a double portion of the father's inheritance. Come on. Oh my God. I just threw it out there for you. I want y'all to understand that Elijah is the mentor. Elisha is the mentee, or he is the protege. Elisha had a father. He left his father to go with Elijah and do ministry. So he had an earthly father. Watch this. And keep in mind, now here it is, that the double portion always went to the firstborn son. Are y'all seeing where Pastor Fran's about to go with this? So when Elisha is asking for the double portion, he's not asking for the double portion so he can have more power. Elisha is asking for a double portion because now he wants to be considered a son. Ooh, oh my God. The thing that you asked God for, did you ask God for it because you wanted to be considered a son or a daughter? Ooh, oh God. I know we're all thinking right now. We're all thinking right now. The request that Elijah made. Come on. So when you ask God for the house, or when you ask God for the car, when you ask God for the financial breakthrough, did you ask him because you wanted, watch this, you wanted the proof that you were a son or a daughter, or did you ask because you just wanted a way out? Remember what I said, you got to know the value of why you're asking what you're asking. So watch this. Let me tell you some more, a little bit deeper about the significance of what he was asking. He was asking to be considered a son. Watch this, because watch this. Anybody, any good parent that loves their child, come on here. Do you know what you would do for your son or your daughter? Come on here. Oh God. Are y'all catching that? Are y'all catching that? Oh my God. He said, I want what I'm asking for to establish a foundation and to, watch this, to confirm the relationship that we do have. Oh God, the thing that you asked God for, did you ask him because you was just trying to get out, or did you ask it of him because you wanted it to confirm the relationship? Watch this. Not one time is Elijah criticized for asking for what he was asking for, because he knew he was asking with all good intent. I came to tell somebody there are no limits to what you can ask God for as long as your intentions are good. Come on. Whew, oh God. Don't you ever let somebody make you feel bad about what you have asked God for when you know that your intentions are good. Because if you get caught up with what they say, remember what we said at the beginning of this is why sometimes you have to turn the noise off. You got to forget about what they're saying. You got to forget about what they're thinking. And you got to know the value of why you are asking God what you are asking God for. But watch this. Watch this. One of the things that blessed me, and I hope it helps us on today, because there are a lot of us that have asked God for certain things. Come on. How many of you have asked God for something? You've asked God for something. God bless you. You've asked God for something. Pull it up, Antonio, because I want to show you something in this. Watch this. And Elijah, at the end of verse 9, and Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. Here it goes in verse 10. Watch this. And he said, talking about Elijah, the mentor, he said, watch how he responds to him now. He didn't criticize him for what he asked for. He didn't tell him that was too much to ask for. But watch what he did say, and watch how he responds. He tells Elisha, he says, thou hast asked a hard thing. Oh God. How many of you feel like the thing that you've asked God for is hard and impossible? You don't see how it's going to come to pass. You don't know how this is going to work with that. I've had I've tried to figure it out. I've tried to think of all the possibilities, and it's a hard thing. If you know the thing that you have asked God for, you can just be honest with it. Within yourself, it's a hard thing. Just type it over in the chat section. I've asked for a hard thing. Bring me back over, Antonio. Watch this. I've asked for a hard thing. Watch this. But how many of you know that hard does not equate to being impossible? Ooh, oh God. Notice what Elijah said. Elijah said, you asked a hard thing, but never did Elijah say you asked an impossible thing. Oh God, did y'all catch that? Because sometimes we get discouraged because it's hard and we can't see our way. But the one thing is that we have to grab hope and hold on to is the fact that even though it's hard, it does not equate to being impossible. Oh God. I got messed up, Pastor Fran, because it was hard. I lost faith because it was hard. But watch this. Elijah told him, he said, you've asked a hard thing. And notice how he responds to the hard thing. I'm trying to give some of us, watch this, a key to open a door. Because notice how Elijah responds to the hard thing that Elisha is asked for. He said, you've asked the hard thing. He said, but nevertheless, if you stay, oh God, somebody just type it over. I told you my stay was bigger. I was staying for something bigger. I was staying for something bigger. I wasn't staying for stuff. I wasn't staying for status. I was staying for something bigger. Elijah responds to the hard thing by telling Elisha, he said, you've asked the hard thing. He said, but if you stay to the end, oh God, is somebody catching what Pastor Fran is saying? Because the thing that you thought was hard, if you stay to the end, if you stay committed, if you stay in the will of God, somebody just type it over in the chat. I gotta stay. I gotta stay. I gotta stay. I told you I was staying for something bigger. My stay is about something bigger. He told him, he said, if you stay, he said, if you stay, even though it's hard, watch this. He said, it shall be so. Oh God, somebody should have got happy right there. For all the people, watch this, that knew that what they was asking God for was hard, and I couldn't figure out how in the world it was going to come to pass. You got your keys today. Stay in the will of God, because how many of you know that your obedience is your bridge between your hard thing and your coming to pass thing? Oh God. Did you just catch that? I've been discouraged because it's been hard. I've been crying because I couldn't see the way. But watch this. This word has come to me today to let me know, watch this, that my bridge to my thing coming to pass. Because that's what Elijah told him. Bring it back out, Antonio, so we can show it to him again. Watch this. We're in 2 Kings 2:10 now. Because Elijah said, thou hast asked a hard thing. He said, nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. He said, but if you do not stay, but if not, it shall not be so. Watch this. How many of you know that the instructions are your bridge? The instructions is your bridge between hard and it shall be so. Thank you. Watch this. I'm going to say it again. But before I say that, let me just give you this little drop right here. This is why you should never despise instructions. Woo. Oh God. Whatever God is telling you to do, whatever God is leading you to do, this is why it would behoove us not to despise instructions, because sometimes the instructions are only coming to be your bridge from the hard thing to the thing that says it shall be so. Watch this. And Elijah just didn't say it shall be so. Elijah said it shall be so unto you. Woo, oh God. This is why, watch this. If it shall be so unto you, this is why the instructions have been coming to you. Because it's trying to be that bridge to get you from the hard thing to the it shall be so unto you. And I just been all in my feelings because I just been feeling like God has been trying to get me to do all of this stuff that just seems so hard in this point in time in my life. No, every time that a set of instructions come to you, God is giving you a bridge. Ooh, come on here. Did somebody just catch that? Say, I got a lot of bridges now. I got a lot of bridges now. I've been looking at all of these instructions and I've been looking at them wrong. I've been looking at them wrong. I've been looking at tithing wrong. I've been looking at praying wrong. I've been looking at fasting wrong, because now I understand through the word of the word of the Lord on today, that I understand now all God is doing is giving me bridges. Ooh, oh God, come on here. Somebody just type it over in the chat. I got some bridges now. I got some bridges now. I got a way now, because anytime you got a bridge, watch this, you got a way to get from one point to the other point. Oh God, did somebody just catch that? Whew. I've been trying to figure out, how I was going to get there. I just need for somebody to type it over and check. I got a bridge now. I got a bridge now. I got a bridge, because we know that bridges transport you. Bridges give you access from one place to the other place. Ooh. Instructions are your bridges over troubled waters. Oh God. For everybody that's been wondering, oh God, how is this going to happen? Evangelist Bromel, I got to get me a bridge now. I got to get me a set of instructions now. I know it seems impossible. I know it seems hard. Matter of fact, it is hard if I just be truthful with you. Watch this. But just because it's hard does not mean it's impossible. Come on, because this does not equal that always. I just want to talk to the people that you've been dealing with a hard thing, and the enemy has been fighting you on every hand, telling you it's not going to happen, telling you that it's not going to get better, telling you that everything that you are doing is for absolutely nothing. Anybody else ever felt that way or feeling that way right now? And you've been wondering, oh God, how am I going to fight through this? How am I going to make it through this? Well, you need to take some tips from Elijah, because one of the things that Elijah did was Elijah killed all the noise that was going to put him in a position that he did not believe what God said. Oh God. So that's one of the first things you got to do. You got to kill the noise. Come on. We done had a message on this so many times. You got to kill the noise. You got to kill the noise. Watch this. And after you kill the noise, you got to stay. You got to stay. You got to be committed to staying. Is there anybody that says, I'm committed to staying? I'm committed to staying, Pastor Fran. I've been crying some days, but I'm still committed to stay. I've been frustrated some days, but I'm still committed to stay. I didn't even know which way to go or what to do, but I'm committed to staying. Watch this. Because now Elijah has given Elisha the instructions. But Elijah knew how to respond. Elijah said, I want to be, I want to be considered a son. I want to be considered a son. That's why he asked for the double portion. He said, I want to inherit this promise, this ability. I want to inherit this. Watch this. I want to put something else out there to you. Notice also what Elijah did. Because I'm trying to get you to a point where you no longer despise instructions. Because whenever you get a set of instructions, sometimes those instructions are the final words before you get manifestation. Oh God, did somebody just catch that? Because Pastor Fran just threw you something. Sometimes the instructions are the final words before manifestation. If you look at verses 9 and 10, Elijah gave him the instructions. Come on. He gave him the instructions, and there was nothing else said after that. The only thing that was left to do was for Elisha to obey. And as he obeyed, watch this, it was made manifest. Y'all keep reading. We don't have time to go into it today, but are you seeing that? There was no more words. And sometimes we're looking for God to say something else. God said, I done said everything else that needs to be said. I done gave you the set of instructions that's going to get you to manifestation. I done gave you the set of instructions that's going to be your bridge. Watch this, from the hard thing to it shall be so unto you. We're looking for God to say something else, and God is looking for us to do what he said. Somebody say, I caught it. I caught it. Because watch this. After Elijah gave him the instructions, there was nothing else said. He's just stayed. He stayed. Come on, he stayed. But watch this. The place that he stayed coincided with his instructions. Oh God, come on here. Watch this. I don't want you to get caught up with just staying, but I need for you to make sure that the place that you are in is the place that coincides with the instructions. Ooh, oh God. Is the place that you are staying, does it, watch this, does it match up with the instructions of where you should be? Come on. Because Elijah told him, he said, if you stay here. You stay here. And sometimes we get caught up with trying to go elsewhere. Watch this. And we get caught up with trying to be in another place. Watch this. We get caught up with trying to be close, but not there. Oh God, did somebody catch that? Don't settle for being close when God has told you to be there. I just don't want to be close, but I need to be there. Somebody type it over in the chat. I need to be there. I don't need to be close. I don't need to be close to it, because watch this. Close ain't where he said be. And we got a lot of people that's trying to get it from being close. But Elijah said, you got to be here. You got to be there. I got to be there. He said, if you just stay here, if you stay there in the place that I told you to stay in, he said, that's when it's going to come to pass. Don't you ever settle for close, because close won't get you there. Close won't get you manifestation. Almost won't get you manifestation. Halfway won't get you manifestation. Come on. Say, I got to be there. I got to be there. There were so many things in this message that this didn't equal that. What are you saying to us in short, Pastor Fred? I don't care how bad your situation looks. I don't even care how bad your situation feels. I don't even care how hopeless it seems like it is. I came to encourage the body of Christ that if you stay in the will of God, and you operate in your sonship or your daughtership of what God has called you into, the set of instructions that he is going to give you, it's going to get you there. Come on. It's going to get you there. And again, as I told you, don't you feel sad. Don't you let anybody make you feel bad about what you have asked God for. Come on. Because the thing that you have asked God for, that's between you and God. Not one time did Elisha criticize Elisha for asking for a double portion. Because you know why you are asking God for what you are asking him for. I told you, you need to make sure that your intentions are good. You need to make sure of why you're asking. I said in the beginning of this message, I said, know the value of why you're asking what you're asking God for. Because when Elijah asked for a double portion, he was asking it because he wanted to be considered a son. There are some hard places in all of our lives, and we have a petition before God. I'm not asking you to change what you are asking God for. But what I am asking you to do is prioritize why you're asking him. Come on. I want you to make what you are asking God for about him and not about you. God, I'm asking you for the financial breakthrough, to help establish my relationship with you and your relationship with me. I know it's going to alleviate some pain, some frustration, some heartache and disappointment. But God, it's about you now. I don't feel bad about asking him for the house. I don't feel bad about asking him for the car. But I don't want you to ask God for those things and your heart not be right, knowing that you're going to use those things against his will and his purpose and plan for your life. But if you know that what you have asked God for is bigger than your status and it's bigger than stuff, I now want to encourage you to seek God and ask God for the set of instructions. And maybe some of us already have them. And I believe we do. There's some of us that already has the set of instructions that's going to be the bridge between the hard thing, the place of the hard thing, to the place of it shall be so unto you. Watch this. Because if it shall be so unto you, then guess who the instructions have to come to? Because sometimes we want it shall be so unto us, but we want somebody else to do the instructions. Come on. And that's not how God works. Because there are some of us that have petitions. And watch this. We felt bad because, well, maybe I should be asking for an anointing. And maybe I should be asking for this. No. Maybe it's just better if you know the value of why you're asking what you're asking for. Because anything that you ask God for should never solely be about you. Ooh.